Good afternoon, all of you survivors. I'm surprised to stay here. It's almost 5, so thanks to stay here with us and with me. I promise I'll try to be really, really short. Okay, so it's always cool to be the last one on the list. So, we are talking about the innovation ecosystem, so maybe just very briefly, what does it mean? Of course, most of you can imagine what does it mean, but very briefly, it should be something open, cooperative environment based on, I say, mutual trust. The trust is the really key word, and trust me, it's really, really hard to get it, especially in the regions. So next point, it's never-ending process. It's really important to know that, and especially it's hard to convince the politicians that it's never-ending process. It's not the process for just 4 years. So it's another important point. That's what we try, even in the regions, that to move from the local to the global approach. It's also important. And from abstract strategies, initiatives, conferences, whatever, to the concrete projects and activities. It's really important to have it like imaginable. And of course, you need resources and you need key players involved on a board. And of course, you have to tackle with some obstacles like ego, of course, egos of the big boys, and the political and business interests which are changing in time, of course. And if you are able to tackle with the most of these points, you can talk about a functional innovation ecosystem, like, for example, in Israel. Very shortly, how does it look like in our region? Maybe you know this image or this, yeah, because you need like 3 main points. It's called triple helix. You need public sector involved, you need a private sector, you need companies on a board, and of course you need academia. And what's also important to have the conductor. So what it should be the role for ITSOC, for Innovation Center of the Olomouc region, to manage all these players. So just let's talk very briefly about our organization, which is called ITSOC, Innovation Center of the Olomouc region. It's a public agency established by Olomouc region, which is local authority, and Palacký University in Olomouc. We are fully operational since June 2020, so we are still a very new and fresh organization at the very beginning. We are a member of the WInovate network. I will talk you more about it later. We are responsible for implementation of so-called S3 strategy here in Olomouc region. And of course, as I mentioned before, we are trying to have concrete tools and programs for mostly future entrepreneurs, SMEs, and startups. So what kind of S3 so-called domains or fields in the Olomouc regions? It's maybe you already know that, but I think it's important to mention it, that we have the fields like optics, biomedicine, e-health, it was already mentioned, advanced agriculture technologies because of the geography of our region, pumping and water management technologies, new materials, so on. And newly, very newly, we are also talking about creative industries like new economy. So I already mentioned so-called WInovate platform or network. So what does it mean? Why I even mention it? Because we are not alone in this hard work to make an innovation ecosystem. There are more 7 regional innovation centers in the Czech Republic who are involved in this platform called WInovate. So we are in very close cooperation with the other 7 innovation centers, as you can see on the map. Just briefly to the numbers, there are more than 150 experts in the pool. We are sharing them, of course, with the other innovation centers, as I mentioned. We provided more than 22,000 hours of consultations to the SMEs and to the startups, together, of course, in the network, and we serve more than 500 clients. Just for fun, last number, 100 million mistakes that haven't been made thanks to sharing the know-how, sharing the fuck-ups. It's also very important. So, as I was talking about the concrete tools, I would like to mention a couple of them. We offer expert programs for SMEs, like Itzhak Platin, Itzhak Digi, which is based on consultations, and especially in Itzhak Digi program, we also are able to, we offer to the companies to do so-called digital audits to find where there are the problematic issues then we should solve, and we can offer benchmarking with other competitive companies. It's not just about the programs or consultations. We can offer even the financial or direct financial help through the vouchers. We have two kinds of vouchers for SMEs. First one, so-called R&D. So we are trying to connect the representatives of the companies with the research centers, with the academia and so on. And the creative voucher where we want to connect the creative, or how to say that, creative people with the companies to help them with marketing, social media, brand management, and whatever. We are also trying to do something with the region, not only in Olomouc, so that's why I mentioned regional innovation hubs. I will try, or I will tell you more later. And we also cooperate very closely with the Olomouc city and other partners to build the creative center, which should be here in Olomouc, I think. So, and the tools, we have the tools not just for the SMEs, but also for the future entrepreneurs or the startups. We have got a special platform, a program. We call it, in English, I think it's something like Kick It. So in Czech, it's Našlápnuto. Incubator for the people who are thinking about to start their own business, and they are at the very beginning and they need some help, mentoring and so on. So it's based on the lectures, workshops with the local entrepreneurs, not only in Olomouc, also in Jeseník, Přerov, and other cities in our region. It's based on a pitching, it's based on a competition. So if you are thinking about to start your own business, just visit the website našlápnuto.cz. The next slide is about matchmaking. That's another very important role of our innovation center to make connections between all the players, as I mentioned. So it's about the regional platforms, it's about the transfer, technology transfer or knowledge transfer events where we're trying to put the companies and academia to the one table, specific conferences, and also we are open to international cooperation. So, as I mentioned, regional innovation hubs, so it's really important to know that the Olomouc region is not just about Olomouc city. There are several so-called sub-regions like Jeseník, Šumperk, Přerov, and other sub-regions, as you can see on the map. And we offered to all these cities to build or to establish something which we called the Regional Innovation Hub. We are very close in Přerov, for example. We are opening this Regional Innovation Hub in Přerov next year. Another one's in Jeseník, Šumperk, Zábřeh, it's in operation and should be ready in around 2024, maybe 2025. So it's really hard to get it, but I think our very important role is to develop the whole region, not just the one city. So, as I promised, I try to be really brief. So if you have questions, I'm here. Thank you for your attention.